Hey team, Julie Jarrett here. I wanted to ask you this question that I want you to think about and really then start applying it to the potential prospects that you have, customers and ambassadors alike. What amount of money do you think it would take to change a person or a family's household lifestyle? If you're thinking that that dollar amount is a lot of money, you might be surprised to know that the average person says that $500 a month would significantly change their household's lifestyle, their family lifestyle, the way they're able to live. And when I think about that, it reminds me so much of why we're in this. You may have heard a lot of people tell you that this business is not about us. Most of us who are ranked up I'm a Ruby ambassador, Angie's a Ruby. We have several other leaders, emeralds, sapphires, diamonds, who have said this very thing. But even though they like the money, this is not the reason why they do this. The reason that they do this is simple. Our company has a fantastic, probably the best on the market line of vitamins, natural vitamins and supplements that are changing lives, not just a few lives. I'm talking thousands and thousands of lives. And so I wanted you to think about that, because when we love something, we have no problem sharing it with the people that we're the closest to. But when you get into a business and you start thinking about having to come up with a list of people that you would talk to about it or that you would want to join you in it, you're thinking about whether or not they are going to shoot you down because they're skeptical. You're thinking about, they're going to try to talk you out of it because they're going to say, network marketing or direct sales is a scam. There's a number of things or reasons why you might be afraid to talk to people. But this is why we always tell people to come out of their comfort zone. And here's why. Jim Rohn, who is probably one of my favorite people to listen to in the car, talks about this situation, and he compares it to the Bible, and he calls it the difference, sowing and reaping. And this is the story of the sower. And you're going to have to forgive me because I'm going to have to look at some notes that I took after I got settled, because I wanted to share this with you guys today. So basically, when he's talking about prospects, ambassadors, or customers, he says that you have to know that when you are sowing seeds, that sometimes birds are going to get some of the seeds. Now, what does that mean, and how does it apply to our business? Well, what he says is that you may have somebody super excited about the potential for the products or the business. You've got them convinced that they need to come to a meeting or an online event, or to join you on a three-way call. But then they talk to somebody about doing this, and they get convinced that network marketing is a scam, or that they don't want to come. You don't want to go to that. Why would you want to be affiliated with that? Or why would you even want to consider that? This is just another fad diet or another scam. And that's probably one of my favorites, because I love turning skeptics into believers. But what he says is you can do nothing about that. He says, don't go chasing birds. If you go chasing birds, guess what that means? You're leaving the field. And what that means is that you are distracted from your future, which is your fortune. So you don't want to do that. He also says that you need to keep sowing seeds. Then he says the hot weather is going to get some of your seeds. What does he mean by that? Some ambitious starters will go super strong in the beginning. And then if their business doesn't take off right away, or they talk to a few people and they get shot down about the potential of the business, or there's any number of things that could happen, what happens is they get discouraged. And what happens? They quit. They leave the business. And so in his video, he said, or in his CD, he says they wither away. And we have seen that happen too. But here's what I want to tell you about that. Some are not going to stay. You're going to have some people who are going to join you in this business. They're going to be super excited in the beginning. They're going to be really ambitious. And then somewhere along the way, they lost their belief. They lost their passion. And instead of trying to engage or connect, they leave. But again, if you have done everything you can to reach out and talk to them or try to help them, and they still decide that this is not for them, or they stop responding to you, do not get caught up in the whys, because here's the deal. You can't solve all the problems of the world. You can't know why everyone stays or why anyone leaves. And so don't let it distract you from your future, because your future is your fortune. Keep sowing, because what's going to happen is, if you don't, you are going to get disappointed. And what he says is that you need to discipline your disappointment. If you get disappointed, which is natural in this business, don't let it defeat you. What do you need to do? Keep sowing. And then he says the thorns are going to get some. What does that mean? What that means is that this one is a big one for me. What it means is that little distractions, little somethings, something that we also call excuses, will cause people to leave. They are not going to engage. They're not going to educate themselves. They're not going to learn the business. They're not going to work their business. And then they're going to make every excuse in the world not to do it. So those are little thorns, right? Sometimes big ones. And so what happens? They leave. And what this means is that they have cheated themselves out of a big opportunity because they let those little things get to them instead of working with their sponsor or somebody to get through those. What does he say? Keep sowing. Keep giving the invitation. Keep doing your daily IPAs, or income producing activities. Finally, he says, some seeds will fall on good ground. It always will. If you share a good idea long enough, it always will. And he's true. He's telling the truth. And here is one of the things that he says that is proof of that. If you do something often enough, a ratio will appear. So what is a ratio? What in our business, what that means is if you contact 10 people, you may have one person who will respond or take your invitation on the business or the products. Okay, when that happens, that's your ratio. Your ratio is 1 out of 10. Now, what he says is that if you keep doing this, ratios tend to continue. So if you continue to contact 10 more people and 10 more people, you might get one person, you might get one person, but then over a period of time, what's going to happen is you'll contact 10 people and 2 may say yes, or 3, if you're really good, may say yes. And why is that? It's because you've gotten better. You have learned more about the business. You've learned more about the products. And so your skills have gotten better and you're doing better at it. So the whole point of this video is to talk to you about doing what it will take in order to be successful in this business. It was never intended for you to do this by yourself. It was never intended for you to do all the work. What was meant to be in this was you finding a few people who want to do a little bit of work with you together, and then for you to teach those people how to do the same thing, and for them to teach those people how to do the same thing over and over. That is how you can build a successful business in network marketing. So I guess the moral of the story is that you need to find a way to serve many. At the end of the day, as everyone says, this is not about us. If you help others, helping service a lot of people, or to help them find improved health, or whatever your business is, will lead to greatness. At the end of the day, when you forget about yourself, you end up helping yourself, because when you help others, it helps you too. You don't know this right now, but if you will sit and think about it, and when I think about this, it blows my mind. And this is my final thought of this video. When I first got into this business, I didn't really want the business, and I didn't think it was for me because I had tried other companies before and never really felt anything from doing it. But when I joined Plexus, something in me changed about it. And the reason why is because I get to help directly and indirectly help improve the health and lives of hundreds of people. Now that we are a team of over 500 ambassadors, that is turning into thousands of lives. And when I think about that, it really blows my mind, because I never in a million years imagined this business for myself. And here I am 2 years later, almost 2.5 years later, a Ruby ambassador with Plexus. And what's the most exciting to me is that leaders are popping up all over this team, and the lives that we are changing together just keeps increasing. So don't give up, because at the end of the day, we are in this to help others. And if you go in it with the attitude of helping others, then it makes this fun, it makes it rewarding, and guess what? We get paid for doing it. So don't give up. If you need help, please reach out to one of our leaders or reach out to me, and let's do this. I know you can, and I believe in you, and I will believe in you, and I will believe in you enough for me and you until you have belief yourself. So let's do this, team, and have a good night. Bye.